The Tesla Semi will go 0 to 60 in 5 seconds.
The Tesla Semi has been overlooked recently due to the other Tesla-related developments. However, we now finally have news indicating that it might be closer to hitting the roads than we anticipated. Elon Musk personally assured consumers that their Tesla truck will arrive in 2022. But how will the final product come out to be? And will Tesla succeed in delivering what it had promised to its customers? The unique and highly effective passenger vehicles produced by Tesla have helped to catalyze a revolution in the field of electric transportation on a worldwide scale. Elon Musk, co-founder and CEO of Tesla, made the announcement that the company intended to join the commercial transport business with the Tesla semi-electric truck in November of 2017. The Semi is not just any truck, rather it is a zero-emissions freight-hauling cargo machine that outperforms conventional oil guzzlers in all aspects, including driving range, fuel economy, operational expenses, and overall performance. And although not many developments came through after 2017, now for the first time in years, the company updated the listing on its website for the electric transport truck to include fresh specifications and pre-orders. Elon Musk announced the release of the Tesla semi-truck with a 500-mile range via a tweet. Tesla also posted an extremely brief clip of two Tesla semis driving down the highway and arriving at the Giga Nevada supercharger. The Tesla Semi has what is perhaps the most innovative and streamlined design we have ever seen on a truck, thanks to its one-of-a-kind cab construction. It seems as though it was taken straight from the future. Despite being already ahead of their time, the new trucks are still expected to boast a number of changes. Wired published an article in November 2017 stating that the Tesla Semi will use 4 motors. Each one will be like that of a Model 3. Every motor will produce 258 horsepower, providing in total over 1,000 HP. Although there is no information available about the torque amount just yet, we do know that electric vehicles produce a great deal of torque. Therefore, we can anticipate that the powertrains in the Semi will produce torque levels in the 4-digit range. However, Tesla has announced the reduction from 4 to 3 motors in the powertrain. It is likely that Tesla cut a motor because they found that the performance boost from going from 3 to 4 motors was minimal. Furthermore, the extra motor could have been only for traction regulation and not necessarily for increasing output. It could have been also consuming more energy than it was producing. This is why, even with a motor less, the Semi loaded with an entire 80,000-pound weight can still pull off the advertised 20-second sprint from 0 miles per hour to 60. Range and charging are also an intriguing aspect to consider. The initial advertisement stated a range of 300 to 500 miles. In mere 30 minutes, you could power up 400 miles. The modified phase is now expressed as roughly 300 or 500 miles. Furthermore, mentioning that a battery can be charged to 70% in just 30 minutes using the fast charging. This would mean that the vehicle whose battery capacity is for 500 miles could travel 350 miles when juiced for half an hour. But you cannot just believe this one blindly. This is because when Elon first introduced the Tesla Semi in 2017, the firm was basically just making a large assumption about where their battery technology and engineering would be by the time the vehicle was released. No one at Tesla anticipated to see the Semis delivered in 2019. It was probably more about securing bookings than anything else because the technology just did not exist at the time to allow for such a long range of such rapid recharge. However, Tesla has managed to get ahead of themselves in the interim. Although they're not delivering exactly what they promised, but they are quite near, especially considering how lofty the initial goal was. Even when fully loaded with 82,000 pounds of goods, Tesla claims the battery consumption is less than 2 kilowatt-hours per mile. Since the range is 500 miles, we can easily calculate that the battery pack's capacity will be less than 1 megawatt-hour. Let's just assume that the number is near to 2, or at the very least that it can be rounded up to 2 with little to no loss of accuracy. Therefore, 700 kilowatt-hours of energy must be transferred from charger to Semi in 30 minutes if we are to recharge 70% of a 1 megawatt-hour battery. This transfer would, however, necessitate a steady power output of 1.4 MW, which isn't the case given the varying rates at which EVs are charged. The power output is rapid at first, but it gradually decreases as the battery charges. So if Tesla wants to achieve what it believes the initial peak charging rate will be to be greater than 1.5 MW. Something probably closer to 2 to 3 MW would actually do. In their current advertising campaign, Tesla is focusing on the phase up to 70%. Perhaps what they mean is that only the 300-mile battery can charge that rapidly, in which case the charger would need to send out much less power. However, a longer charge time would be required for the complete charge of the 500-mile battery. Next, we see that there have been significant adjustments made to bookings and prices. Similar to the Cybertruck, the Tesla Semi homepage has lost all of its pricing details. One factor behind this could be inflation that has risen slightly above average during the recent years. When that initial price of $180,000 was set, that outcome was entirely predictable. However, now this is not the case. But we do have to factor in the Inflation Reduction Act proposed by Joe Biden, too. It introduces a new dynamic into the mix. According to the act, an electric commercial vehicle weighing more than 14,000 pounds will be eligible for a new tax credit of $40,000 or 30% of the vehicle's cost, whichever is less. This incentive is likely to apply to the Semi as well, meaning that Tesla would raise the price of the truck by at least $40,000 without significantly impacting its true cost to the consumer. Accordingly, a price hike is undoubtedly in the works. While we wait for an answer to that inquiry, new reservations on this have been disabled by the corporation. The reserve button is now designated as an update button, and additional information is to follow soon, hopefully. But this is not all. We also have had our first updated images of the Tesla Semi's cabin, as seen by the driver. There isn't much to see or do here. In all candor, it resembles the interior of the first prototype very closely. The primary distinction is an enhanced steering wheel that incorporates capacitive touch controls similar to those found in the Model S and Model X yoke steering wheel. There is a significant amount of glass that wraps around the front of the vehicle and dips down into the trunk. Because the glass area is so large, the panels that cover it extend all the way to the doors in order to improve the vehicle's aerodynamics. Tesla removed the door mirrors from the Semi. Instead, cameras that are positioned at the very back send a feed to the screens that are located within the vehicle. And although it is great and all, it goes against the standard truck setup. Well, this brings us to the end of the video. If you liked it, please do consider subscribing and sharing, because this will help us bring you more content like this. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.